Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURBAZLIN binti LUKMAN, metric number 067706. Now I'm going to be presenting with regards to the problem statement. The primary thing to be addressed in this memorandum is with respect to the severe issue of human trafficking that is linked with the international security. The occurrence of the crime is regarded as a gross violation of human rights that affects population across regional, ethnic and religious lines that globally, in 2016 alone, the United Nations detected close to 25,000 victims of human trafficking of reported cases. In this case, the main focus is on the structural inequalities, taking for instance, refugees, migrants, internally displaced and stateless persons are particularly at risk of adoptions that lead to trafficking. Therefore, it is a great debate to point out how the lack of law enforcement alone that is not sufficient to reduce human trafficking on the grounds that moreover, the dangers are increased by continued restrictions on protection and assistance. So that's why there should be further initiative that aim to reduce human trafficking in contexts affected by conflict and terrorism. Highlighting the main issue, it is proven that the perpetrators of human trafficking have become more organized, requiring an equally sophisticated response from law enforcement to disrupt and dismantle their networks, where more major steps should be taken to fight human trafficking. I think that is all from me. Thank you.
Human trafficking is the act of gathering, transferring, receiving or retaining people beings for exploitative reasons using trade, force, coercion or fraud. In the 19th and 20th centuries, international movements arose to abolish slavery in all its forms. This includes the transatlantic slave trade, the trafficking of Chinese women into the United States, the International Convention for the Suppression of White Slave Traffic, the International Labour Organization, the International Convention for the Suppression of Traffic in Women and Children, the United Nations Convention for the Suppression of Traffic in Persons and the Prostitution of Others, the Internet and Social Media, the International Convention for the Suppression of Traffic in Persons, and the International Convention for the Suppression of Traffic in Persons. These agreements focus on prevention, aftercare, and intervention.
My name is SOFIAH RAMLI 067702 and I will present on the analysis. The inadequate security services for victims of human trafficking can be attributed to several factors. Insufficient financial support is a significant challenge as an anti-trafficking program struggles to access the necessary funds to provide comprehensive security of services. So governments and organizations face hurdles in securing adequate funding, which limits the availability of resources for victim protection. Additionally, the lack of collaboration and coordination between governments and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, in the anti-trafficking sector exacerbates the problem. The absence of effective information exchange and cooperation among relevant authorities hampers the comprehensive addressing of victim security needs. So, exploiting this lack of coordination, traffickers can continue their operations unnoticed. Furthermore, the secretive nature of human trafficking makes it difficult to identify and assist victims. Covert trafficking activities make it challenging to locate and rescue individuals in need. Insufficient resources for victim identification and locating their whereabouts compound the issue. So, survivors of human trafficking require personalized support tailored to their unique needs. Many have experienced trauma and necessitate specialized assistance from skilled professionals. However, the availability of such professionals is limited, impeding the provision of high-quality specialized services. To address these challenges, societies must prioritize victim protection and assistance. This entails securing adequate funding, enhancing collaboration between stakeholders, improving victim identification efforts, and establishing long-term reintegration programs and support networks. By focusing on these measures, societies can contribute to the healing, recovery, and long-term well-being of survivors. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Considering all of these issues gained from analysis, we have come up with a set of 4 recommendations in helping to stop and reduce human trafficking crime. All of the suggested ideas have the potential to develop and strengthen the country's emerging initiatives to combat human trafficking if implemented in a coordinated and thorough manner. Therefore, to counter the issue of inadequate financial support that currently is limiting the availability of security services, I would recommend the government or organizations in charge explore alternative funding sources. The alternatives aim to fill in the financial gap in addition to the existing organization's budget. They should consider seeking external grants, partnerships with security service providers, benefiting corporate social responsibility programs, or looking for any outside sponsors and donations. Discover potential funding sources by doing some research and making sure they support the goals and principles of your organization. Moreover, the lack of collaboration and interaction between governments and non-governmental organizations (NGOs) hinders and slows the progress of security services for the victims. In light of this, I encourage the recommendation to establish a joint task force comprising representatives from both governments and NGOs. Human trafficking should be combated more effectively through the formation of this task force, which will be tasked with creating strategies, exchanging information, and collaborating on joint projects.
Furthermore, in order to suppress the need for highly skilled professionals is vital for ensuring quality specialized service, which unfortunately are not always readily available, is through training existing employees. The training should consist of law enforcement officers at the federal, state, local, tribal, and regional levels. The training should develop and deliver training for law enforcement officers at all levels, specifically to identify human trafficking. It is essential to detect and disrupt human trafficking networks throughout the country. In addition, professionals and staff in state, local, tribal, and territorial justice system, as well as in adult and child welfare system, who serve high-risk populations, should also receive training in human identification. Among high-risk populations are runaway, young, homeless, victims of violence against women. In addition, concerning the lack of adequate platform for information exchange between relevant authorities is establishing collaborative platforms. Creating collaborations comes together with technology. The collaborative specifically is planning to utilize involving technologies to make it easier to detect victims and the process of human trafficking. The obtained information can be shared across different jurisdictions and make it easier to report the trafficking itself. For example, in tackling human trafficking, it includes national helplines to raise awareness. These national helplines also serve as hubs of data collection and analysis and information sharing.